Good morning, students. Welcome to the another session of the lesson Reflection of Light at Curved Surfaces. We have been discussing about the ray diagrams of concave mirrors. So, in today's class, let us start with convex mirrors. One can draw the ray diagrams for convex mirror also. The easy rays that we identified earlier can be used in this case also, but with a small modification. We have studied the rules for drawing the ray diagrams for concave mirrors. So here also we will be seeing the rules, rule number 1, 2 and 3, but with a small modification. Here also there are three rules which describe these rays, which describe the incident ray as well as reflected ray. The procedure for drawing the diagram is similar, but it is not repeated here. It is only similar, but it is not repeated here. Okay, children, so before drawing the ray diagrams for different cases, in case of convex mirror, first of all, again, we need to learn the rules for drawing the ray diagrams. So rule number 1. Rule number 1 says that, see the diagram carefully. According to this rule, a ray parallel to the axis on meeting the convex mirror will get reflected so as to appear as if it is coming from the focal point. See children, I have indicated with R1 here. This R1 is the incident light ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis. The incident light ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis, on getting reflection, when it touches the reflected surface of the convex mirror, it reflects, and this reflected ray appears that as if it is coming from the focal point if it is extended backwards. Okay children, so this is the rule number 1. You can observe here clearly I have represented with red color dotted line, that is the normal present between the incident ray and the reflected ray. When the reflected ray is, okay, I will show you. So this is the incident ray, and whose reflected ray is, I have represented this side with blue line. So this is the reflected ray of the incident ray. This R1 on meeting the surface of the convex mirror, immediately it reflects, and it's when this reflected ray is extended backwards, it appears that as if it is started from the focal point. Okay, so this is about the rule number 1. And next, coming to rule 2. In rule 2 also, you see, this is the converse to the rule number 1. That means this is opposite to the rule 1. A ray traveling in the direction of the focal point after reflection will become parallel to the axis. Okay, a ray which is traveling in the direction of the focal point. So here I have represented R2. This R2 is the incident light ray which is traveling in the direction of the focal point of the mirror. So which is traveling along in the direction of the focal point, that incident ray on touching the surface of the convex mirror, it reflects immediately, and the reflected ray will be passing parallel to the principal axis, as you can observe here. Okay, this is the incident ray, and whose reflected ray is here, this one. Okay, this reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. This is the principal axis. This is a horizontal line represents the principal axis, and so reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. When the incident light ray incidents along the direction of the focal point, then its reflected ray will be passing parallel to the principal axis. And again here also, the line, the dotted line which is represented with the red color dotted line indicates that is the normal between the incident ray and reflected ray. Okay, this is the rule 2. Then we'll move to the another third rule. Third rule says that when a ray is traveling in the direction of the center of curvature, you can see that here the incident light ray is traveling in the direction of the center of curvature. It will, on reflection, it will travel in the opposite direction and appears to be coming from the center of the curvature. Okay children, you can clearly observe that here the incident ray which is coming in the direction of the center of curvature, then it's on reflection, its reflected ray also will be passing in the same line but in the opposite direction. Because we already know that the line which is passing through the center of curvature will be the normal. Whenever the light ray incidents through the normal, then the reflected ray of that corresponding incident ray will also be traveling along the normal only. Already we have studied this point. So as the incident ray is coming through the direction of the center of curvature, its reflected ray will also be passes in the same, through the same line, that means along the normal line only, but in the opposite direction. So that's why here we have represented the two arrow marks upon the same line. See, this arrow mark indicates the incident ray coming towards the convex mirror, and this arrow mark indicates the reflected ray which is moving away from the convex mirror after reflection. Okay, children, this is the rule number 3. So, based on these rules, by using these rules, we can draw the ray diagrams for objects which are placed at different distances in front of the convex mirrors. So, we need to draw any two incident rays in order to get their reflected rays, and in order to identify the position of the image. So, we need to draw the two incident rays by using these 3 rules. Okay, now we will see the different cases where the object is placed in different locations in front of the convex mirror. In case 1, we will see when the object is placed at infinite distance from the convex mirror. So this is the convex mirror whose reflecting surface is towards this side, and this is the inward surface which is the painted one. Okay, this is the back side of the convex mirror, and this is the front side of the convex mirror. So the object will be in front of the convex mirror anywhere. Here we are taking the case where the object is at infinite distance. Okay, children, so that's why I did not draw the object diagram here, because the object is not in this location, it is somewhere else. Infinite distance means it is away from the convex mirror, it is at infinite distance. Okay, the light rays from an object placed at infinite distance are parallel to the principal axis, and on striking on the convex mirror, they reflect as if they are coming from the focal point. So already we have learned the rules. So here, when the object is at infinite distance, the rays which are coming from the infinite object, that rays will be coming parallel to the principal axis. That's why here 2 light rays I have drawn parallel to the principal axis only. Here I1 means the incident ray number 1, and I2 is the incident ray number 2. I have drawn 2 incident rays, and both of them are parallel to the principal axis only. Okay, so the incident rays which are parallel to the principal axis, on reflecting the convex mirror, they will reflect as if they are started from the focal point. When we look into the mirror, we can see that inside the mirror, somewhere from the focal point, that reflected rays appears to be started from. Okay, when these reflected rays are extended backwards, they will appear that such 2 rays meet at a point called focal point. As if they are coming from the focal point, such 2 rays will appear to meet at a point called focal point if they are extended backwards. Therefore, wherever the extended rays appear to be meeting at that point, actually they appear to be meeting at the point of called focal point here. Hence, at this point only, that image is going to be formed. Okay, so a point-sized image is formed at the focal point. Therefore, we will get a point-sized image we will get a point-sized image at the focal point. Okay, children, so we have to remember that when the object is placed at infinite distance from the convex mirror, the rays which are coming from the object will be parallel to the principal axis, and therefore their image is going to be formed at the focal point, and we get the point-sized image. Whenever the image is formed at the focal point, we get the point-sized image. Okay, characteristics of the image. The image forms at a focal point, and we get the point-sized image. And it is a virtual image because we cannot catch the image on a screen. It will appear only when we look into the mirror. The image will be appear, but we cannot catch the image of that object upon a screen or upon a mirror. Hence only this image is called as a virtual image. Okay, this is the case 1, and these are the characteristics of the image formed. Now we'll move to the second case where we are moving the object. Okay, when the object is placed at a distance in front of the convex mirror. That means here the object is placed in front of the convex mirror at some distance. That means here in the first position, in the first case, the object is at infinite distance, and we move that object now towards the convex mirror. Okay, towards the convex mirror when that object is moved in front of the convex mirror. Okay, now what will be the position of the image? So this is the object in front of the convex mirror. This object is placed, and it is represented with a red color line here. So this is the object. Okay, now what will happen? Let us understand the position of the image when the object is placed at a distance in front of the convex mirror. Okay, you can see the figure here. Again, I have drawn the 2 incident rays. Okay, For the first incident ray, I have represented with a blue line. This is the first incident ray which is passing parallel to the principal axis, and therefore this incident ray after reflection, it will reflect as that of the, as such it is started from the focal point if it is extended backwards. Okay, when the incident ray is going parallel to the principal axis after reflection, and its reflected ray, if it is extended backwards, it will appear that as if it is coming from the focal point. Okay, then by using rule number 3, I have drawn one more incident ray here. Rule number 3 means that is the incident ray which is along the direction of the center of the curvature. So this, by using the rule 3, I have drawn here another incident ray which is indicated with the red color. Okay, the incident ray which is coming from the top of the object, if it is going along the direction of the center of the curvature, then the corresponding reflected ray will also be passing in the same line but in the opposite direction. Okay, that's why 2 arrow marks I have shown you on the same line. This arrow mark indicates the incident ray which is coming towards the convex mirror, and this arrow mark indicates that the reflected ray which is moving away from the convex mirror. And when this reflected ray is extended backwards, again these two extended lines appear to meet at a point in between the focal point and pole. So in between the focal point and pole, at a particular point, these two rays will be appear to meet. Okay, they do not actually meet, but they appear to meet. Hence, we will get the image at this point only. Okay, where do we get the image, children? Here, the image is formed between the pole and focal point. Okay, when the object is brought nearer to the convex mirror, we will get the image in between pole and focal point. Okay, now we see the characteristics of the image. The image is formed between pole and focal point. And again, if you see the size of the image, it will be smaller than the size of the object. So diminished image is formed. Diminished image in the sense a small sized image. The image is smaller than the size of the object. In that case, we call it as diminished image. Diminished image is formed here, small sized image, as you can see the size here. And this is the virtual image, because this image also cannot be caught on your screen or on your paper. This is actually behind part of the mirror, beyond the mirror, and hence it cannot be caught on the screen. And this image can be seen only when we look into the mirror. This image can be seen only when we look into the mirror, but it cannot be caught. Hence it is called a virtual image. Okay, and this is the erect image only, erected image. It is not upside down, it is straight, same like that of the object. It is also in the straight position, hence it is the erect image. We can also write one more point here. It is the erect image. Erect image. Now to go to the case number 3. When the object is placed very close to the pole, when the object is brought very nearer to the convex mirror and it is brought very close to the pole. This is the pole. So this is the pole. In front of the convex mirror, the object is very nearer to the pole now. And again, we need to draw the two incident rays. One incident ray which is indicated with the blue line is going parallel to the principal axis. And again, upon reflection, this reflected ray, when it is extended backwards, it appears to start from a point called a focal point here. And using rule 3, I have drawn one more incident ray along the direction of the center of curvature. This another incident ray which is coming from the top of the object is going along the direction of the center of the curvature. Hence, its reflected ray will also be passing in the same line but in the opposite direction. Okay, so, and whose reflected ray is also extended in the backside of the mirror. When it is extended, then these two extended lines will be appear to meet at one point. At that particular point, again we are going to get the image, and this point is also in between the pole and focal point. Hence here in this case also the image is formed in between the pole and the focal point. Okay, so the characteristics of the image formed in this case is also same. That means it is the image is formed between P and F, pole and focal point, and the small sized image. You can compare the size of the image and size of the object here. So it is the smaller than the object. The size of the image is smaller than the object. Hence we can also say the diminished image is formed, and it is virtual image because we cannot catch this image on the screen, and it is the erect image. Okay, this is the erected image. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the image formed in different cases whenever the object is placed in different locations in front of the convex mirror. Okay, these are the characteristics of the image formed by the convex mirror. Okay, children, here we need to remember only 2 points. That is, when the object is placed at infinite distance, then the image of that object is going to be formed at a focal point, point-sized image, that too. Okay, infinite distance, then the object is at infinite distance, the image is formed at a focal point. If the object is brought nearer to the convex mirror. It is somewhat near here, it is close here. So whatever it may be, it is brought in front of the convex mirror, somewhat nearer to the convex mirror. Okay, it is very nearer to the pole. So in these two cases also, as the object is brought nearer to the convex mirror, in these two cases we get the image in between pole and focal point. Okay. Still, if you brought very closer to the pole, again we are going to get the image here only somewhere else, P and F, in between P and F only we are going to get the image. So in case of convex mirror, at two positions only we will get the image. That is, one is the at focal point image, second one is the image between pole and focal point. Okay, we are having the chance of getting the image in these two positions only. So this is about the convex mirrors, ray diagrams, and different situations also. We'll meet with another topic in the next session, children. So thank you very much.